Okay, so we have a lovely staff member with us who is known as Grace Simitzis, but I call her the Invested Grace or the Amazing Grace. And obviously a GWA staff member that we're very proud of, who loves what she does and is has got some burning information to share with you this afternoon. Over to you, Grace.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. This is the very difficult time slot, the afternoon, where the heads might roll to the side. So I'm going to do something different at the end of the speaking session, where I'll get you involved and get you into groups, get you to meet others that you haven't met before already today, just to break it up. And we'll get into little groups and we'll do a little bit of a brainstorming session, just for something different. So feel free to, that's why I said just come on in. And we've got a few more ready to come down. Oh, let's do a door prize. I love a door prize.
Okay, we do have Roy here who didn't make it between the last break. So Roy has a door prize, which is what? Come and tell us, Roy. Tell us about your business very quickly while waiting for people to sit down. Your business in a lucky draw. Go.
Thank you. So this is a slate serving tray, which is part of the sustainability and eco-friendly products, and that's what it is. My business, I've got a stand at the back over there. I do innovative promotional products, and I assist companies in getting their brand out into the market.
And one of the most generous people I know. So, who would like one of these? We're going to have a drum roll, please, and Grace is going to pull this. So, Grace. And the winner is?
They have to be in the room, right?
They do.
The winner is Robert Walters and Associates.
Robert, well done.
There you go.
Cheese and gin. I mean, it's not bad. You two should make friends, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
Enjoy.
That's a good prize. So, lovely to see you all today. I am business development for Chroma Smart Command and deal with a lot of architects and interior designers. So, good to meet you today. I'll be talking about design and function of smart bathrooms. So, using smart systems to improve health, well-being and sustainability. Just quickly go through GWA. I'm sure you're familiar with us, but we are a business with a purpose, make life better through design and delivery of products, services and technologies that create superior solutions for people to enjoy and sustain water, our planet's most precious resource. So of course, design, function and water sustainability is at the heart of everything that we do. And sustainability is a quite serious topic for us. It's at our core, and we have really invested in looking at 3 of the broad 17 goals that the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and Sustainable Development Goals looked at. So it's to ensure access to water and sanitation for all, resilient infrastructure, sustainable industrialisation and innovation, and making cities inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. We've had a really long history of innovation, so it didn't just come about with having water tanks in our beautiful space here a couple of years ago when we designed this building, but it stemmed from many years, and in 1980, a lot of people don't know, but we were the world's first dual flush toilet system. It was invented partly by Dr. Steve Cummings. He's the Director of Innovations at GWA, and he's still with us today. And he is still developing innovation, new products and new processes. So that was the first development that really saved thousands and thousands of litres of water for Australian households. So moving on to 2005, we created the Smart Flush. So that meant it went from 5.5 litre for, 11 litre for full flush, down to 4.5, and 3 litres for half a flush. So, kind of, you know, we're talking about flushes here, but when you're looking at that difference, you can 1 litre of 1 litre used less in a flush means for an average household of 4 people that you're going to save over 6,000 litres per year. So the multiplying factor means that it's tremendous water saving technology. And then we had 2006, we had the first WELS 6-star urinal. 2009, the WELS 5-star toilet suite, the first one of its kind, where it has an integrated basin and that water is then used to flush the cistern. And then 2016, we have Caroma Clean Flush, and that's a great technology where there's a rimless bowl. So talking about improved hygiene, improved serviceability and performance. And 2018, Caroma Smart Command was developed as an ecosystem of fixtures. So now we're looking at GWA presenting a suite of fixtures that give you an ecosystem that collectively you can do a lot with. And this is smart metering, intelligent monitoring, and using it for commercial buildings. We've invested a lot in local innovation, and we have an innovation hub, a distribution centre in Prestons out near Liverpool, and that's a centre not only for stock, but we also have a NADA accredited laboratory. We do all our design in-house, all our engineering and our prototypes in-house in this local facility. So we're one of a kind in Australia to do that for a bathroom product manufacturer. So learning outcomes today, as is relevant for CPD. We're going to recognise the benefits of efficient water fixtures in bathrooms, understand the opportunities of using end-use analysis to drive user behavioural change, which would lead to water savings. Identify some of the compliance requirements for commercial building rating systems relating to water. And Richard's presentation about Green Star is quite relevant for water ratings as well in commercial buildings. And recognise the benefits of health, wellbeing and energy savings when using smart systems in commercial buildings. So let's have a look at history first. Why is this so important? It's because we live in a country where water efficiency is something that we should be or would be thinking about every day. There are some mandatory requirements that came out of the millennium drought of the 2000s. So you can see from a map there, I wanted to illustrate an image that showed how dire the circumstances were, where you've got most of the continent lowest on record or very much below average as far as rainfall. So what happened then? It was further supported by the introduction of mandatory appliance efficiency labelling in 2006. And I put up what GWA had done beforehand because it was at the forefront of our innovation well before there was the mandatory regulatory requirement. So good on us, I say. So timeline for efficiency events, 1981, the dual flush. And then we've got Green Star coming into play in 2003. We have water efficiency labels, the WELS rating in 2005. And then a year later, we had it mandatory for toilets, taps, urinals and washing machines. And then 2016, new 4-star WELS rating for showers. So continually across the years and in more recent years, there's been expansion of the WELS rating system. And that's really important because it's a standard that really looks at product testing, the rating, and then labelling and displaying it for the end user to make that decision. So hands up if someone has gone to buy an appliance and not looked at the water rating and thought, I'll just buy it just based on the look of it. Well, that's good. So it's something that we have been empowered to be able to make that decision. And I think most people would want to make sure that that is the best product as far as water savings technology. And and that we're all saving water. So that's a no-brainer. And then in 2016, I said they included new label design for 4-star showers and 6-star toilets. And when we measured this, and this measurement was done by the Institute of Sustainable Futures at UTS. That agency there did a white paper and discussion paper on the amount of net benefit that the WELS rating labelling would deliver. So costs and benefits for the WELS scheme, you've got a net benefit of nearly $5 billion from 2017 and 2018, and another net future benefit forecast of $18.4 billion up to 2036. So great water saving, great capital saving. It really is the lead, but that's for a fixture. We haven't really come across what we do as far as the use. So just very quickly, water saving due to WELS. We see that the biggest use of water in fixtures is through the showers and through the taps. So really the toilets is reduced because of the efficiency of the dual flush that came into play. And had we not had that dual flush system, we would have seen that the demand for water use for residential toilets peak up there. You can see in the dotted line. However, the forecast is to stay pretty much where we are. So it's proof that fixture efficiencies have a real impact. So there is currently an imbalance of focus on water in the building management though, and that is because even though you go into a lot of buildings these days, or even your home, you've got the sensor light, so you can look at light efficiencies. When it comes to water management, the buildings are lagging a little bit. So there's not as much emphasis. So if buildings are not accurately measured and compared, comparing water-related fixtures, then how can we aim to improve and save water? So what could we do to address that imbalance? So focus on behaviour of using that fixture, and duration is likely to yield greater efficiencies than just focusing on the hardware of the fixture itself. Efficient fixtures can also provide data and control capabilities. And there have been targeted programs in the past, especially for smart lighting and smart irrigation. Now we need to start thinking about smart water. So in the private sector, we have the Green Star rated buildings that are driving resource efficiency. That was explained in the previous presentation, so that's great, thank you. For commercial building owners, including water. And neighbours further motivated building owners to install innovative and efficient appliances, and then monitor and maintain to improve the rating. So the new frontier in water management is really about what can you get out of that data, or how can you use that data to provide a better insight into creating a better environment for the user, for the asset owners, even for building designers. What could water and bathroom data achieve? What could it do? So we don't want to just stop at driving water sustainability through using less, half flush, but what else can we do to drive that behaviour change? What else could it give us? So those fixtures, that intelligent metering on fixtures could measure and then reduce your water usage. So just like you would get your water bill or your energy bill, and it's showing you on that bill that you can compare your household to other households in the same number of people, and you look at that amount and you think, wow, I've only got 2 people in this household and I'm about average or above the average consumption. You start to kind of think about what should I be doing? How can I reduce my usage? So it demonstrates that water saving of at least 15% of a commercial building's planned water usage through the identification of potential leaks and could contribute to neighbours and Green Star rating improvement of a building. So measuring could really reduce your water usage. Improve the user experience. So it could give us insights into understanding how tenants rate and use their bathroom experiences and seek to set a higher benchmark for satisfaction by giving them the ability to compare and insights to improve. So a lot of building owners, and I think you mentioned Dexus, Charter Hall, they are looking for buildings that improve the user's experience. So it's not just about the bottom line, it is about that, but also how we're going to improve the experience. So we're making sure we've got happy tenants that stay with us. And water data through bathroom fixtures can provide that. Improve user hygiene. That's obviously goes without saying, it's really important now. So these fixtures could measure and compare hand washing compliance, understanding how improvements can be made and enhance the user's bathroom experience. So we can look at non-intrusive hand hygiene reporting, and I'll show you a case study on that. And then drive down maintenance costs, clearly articulate how predictive maintenance and utilising smart cleaning and servicing techniques impacts the user experience. And what I mean by that is that looking at data to give you a preventative schedule rather than spending money on maintenance of plumbers and service technicians, maintaining fixtures or assets that you don't need to maintain as often. So putting resources where it's needed. Leaks represent 21% of water usage in typical buildings. So smart monitoring of leaks is really important, and it could drive water efficiencies by 62% of buildings' water usage. So I'll give you an example of how that works as well. So what type of fixtures could we use that could give you that data? Well, things like toilet fixtures, where you have this example here is a touchless system, and it could provide information on usage patterns, whether a half flush or a full flush is being used, compare the water experience or the water performance across different assets, and identify potential issues. Taps, you can start to understand the hand washing duration, hand washing compliance. It can, for the example I'm going to show you, turn that into a hygiene index, so you compare maybe one level to another level, or perhaps one shopping centre to another shopping centre, and identify and diagnose issues. Urinals, you've got usage patterns there, identify and understand the water used. Showers, there are some electronic showers there that actually can control the shower temperature and their duration. It'd be nice if someone else controlled the duration of your shower. Probably not. But could be very useful for end-of-trip facilities, gyms, hotels, that sort of thing. Kids, yeah, I get that one a lot. And then leak detection systems, so receive alerts for minor or micro leaks. And this is really important because it can save absolutely thousands. If a system, a leak detection system, shuts off the mains for that floor, then you're going to be saving. Yeah, you won't have to change the drywall. So I know weather techs were talking about mould. You won't have to worry about that because there'll be a leak detection system where it can shut it off and create an alert, and then the problem can be fixed without flooding floors. So things like understanding what drives water usage down. So knowing half flush behaviour could save you 1,500 litres per 1,000 visits. You're talking big numbers when you're looking at large commercial buildings or even hotels. So the urinals, so 0.8 of a litre of flush volume as compared to 3 or 4.5 litre flush. So could save you 3,700 litres per 1,000 visits. And then your shower, of course, monitoring that. So over 1,000 visits, you could save over 17,000 litres of water just by understanding it and driving different behaviours. As an example, we have retailer X on the left there, comparing to retailer Y. So stats that can be taken off these sort of smart fixtures are things like average water usage per visit per day compared to a previous 28 days. So you start to do some comparisons. Then understanding what drives the performance. So is it full flush? Is it half flush? Perhaps we need to, when we design the bathrooms in our next project, we get our designer to actually install more urinals or perhaps even some signage about the water saving. So again, usage per visit, comparing if there's an asset in a retailer or the asset is an office building, we can compare the two. And as I mentioned, lower full flush and urinal usage by comparison, and then how much water can be saved there. The other interesting thing is what I mentioned before, is having a hygiene index. So this example here is actually a hygiene index made up of hand washing compliance versus and duration. So you can see the little box there. Some of these, and this is an example of the Chroma Smart Command data, can provide a little bit of a hygiene index. And we're working on a project where the designer actually wants to put this sort of information on a mirror. So when the user actually goes into the bathroom, they can actually see what them and their colleagues, or if it's a retail environment, how that's comparing, or is this a clean bathroom, or is this people coming washing their hands long enough? So there's a real shift into empowering the user, giving them the information in a really simple, understandable way. This example actually shows women are letting the team down in Retail X for hand washing duration. I think that's changed since then. I think they've picked up their game. So smart metering, intelligent metering can provide information that would be stored back to or downloaded off the cloud. And this example here shows a heat map. And this is very small, I don't expect you to read it, but it gives you an indication of all the fixtures down on the left-hand side, 1 to 8, and on from Monday to Sunday, and a timeline across the top. And it's actually showing which fixtures get used more often, how many activations per fixture, per level. So then what you can start to do is assign your cleaning regime to those levels. Means you're getting a better user experience. The toilets and the bathrooms are cleaned more regularly where they're needed. And then that also tells you a bit about where one fixture may not be used or there's 0 activations. It may be there's something wrong. Is the door broken and no one's using it? Or it lets the facility manager react really quickly to any sort of dramas that might be going on there. So it gives a better user experience, better hygiene, less maintenance costs. So lifecycle management of the fixtures, they're really assets you want to keep around in your building for a long time. They need to be durable, they need to be long-lasting. So they need maintenance as well. So you wouldn't stop using a car if it was 10 years old and only done 10,000 kilometres. So why would you do this with a bathroom fixture? You'd want to understand when a fixture uses its critical usage cycles, so only replace the fixtures that needs replacing. So it's like, mechanic looking at your car, it only needs to change the oil filter when it needs to, rather than having a fleet of cars and changing it all. So very, very, I guess, focused on user experience. So when behaviours are driving higher usage, manage your fixtures accordingly. So back to the retailer X. In this example, you've got each number 1 to 5 for the toilets, percentage of bathroom usage. It gives you a lifespan estimate, and perhaps there's things that need to be maintained or changed. Or perhaps that information doesn't seem right, so then you look into different issues. We find that retailers want to compare their assets across different states, different cities, and they want to see how which one kind of is working, which one isn't, and maybe it's to do with a little bit about design. We've had case studies where the urinal in one bathroom, they were put at the very back of the men's bathroom, so the users were not going to those because they were a little bit out of the way, and then comparing it with a case study of another building they had in a different city where the urinals were at the front, they found that they were used a lot more. So when they looked at the data and how much water is being saved, 0.8 litres per 4 litres or 5 litres, over a course of a year, that is a lot of water saving. So with this experience that we've had with the Chroma Smart Command case study, we're saving 2.4, or the owner's saving 2.4 litres of water per bathroom visit per week. And I put this slide in. This was from the paper from the Institute of Sustainable Futures that was done a couple of years ago. But information on such a local level expanded up to cities, really you have better control of what you can do with that data. So for example, fixtures, you can look at cleaning requirements and the product life cycle, flow and the pressure control, duration, fixture access control. And then into bathrooms, you can start looking at hand washing behaviour change. So a lot of these, for example, when you go into a hotel, you'll always have the signage that says, we're trying to have a better environment, so if you can reuse your hand towel or your bath towels, hang on to them for another day, it saves so many litres of water and energy. So now asset managers are looking at how we can change behaviour for water usage on a day-to-day basis in commercial buildings. And peak demand management, there's a lot more end-of-trip facilities being put out there, so that needs to be managed as well. Then we look into buildings. You've got better control across different buildings, changing hot water temperature and response to the ambient temperature. So you would have seen upstairs perhaps the touchless taps, the e-taps there. They can be fixed to a different temperature. But there's a lot more innovation happening. We're looking at how do you control that temperature by the user and put the onus on them. And then precincts and cities, you've got a wider spread of control, looking at smart control of taps with potable water top-up and different experiments, especially behavioural experiments. What are the rating systems for water? They've been mentioned previously. So for Green Star, Neighbours, it's national schemes, international WELS, and then you've got some local rating tools as well that these water fixtures could influence those ratings. So, in conclusion, intelligent metering can lead to water efficiencies and better environmental outcomes. You can monitor and influence behaviour, providing benefits in many applications, in particular the health sector. So there's some smart fixtures that will do a hygiene flush, so it's an automatic flush set by the plumber or the building manager that can be changed. And this is really important from a health point of view, because if you've got things like stadiums or even hospitals, we want to make sure that the water's not stagnant and that it's getting flushed through on a regular basis, so you don't have build-up of smells and build-up of stagnant water. And we're concerned about Legionnaire's disease. We can manage that through these smart fixtures. So it gives better planning outcomes, and really the full potential of digital fixtures is not yet realised. So there's plenty more to come, there's plenty more insights, and we do have a lot more case studies coming up. So this presentation will be updated with a lot more of those in the next version. So what I want to do now is get you into groups of 4 and maybe stand up and kind of move around a little bit, get you waking up a little bit, and maybe sit next to someone you haven't met before. So it's a really good networking opportunity here for you. Introduce yourselves to each other, group of 4, and then I want you to just kind of brainstorm some of these questions, and then we'll just have one person come back and just kind of give a little bit of a chat about what you found. But I find that I get very interesting answers when everyone sort of collaborates. And no, I mean, you can even think outside the box, as far-fetched as you like. And we'll do that for about just 10 minutes. It's all right. The first one. What other benefits can you see intelligent fixtures offering bathroom users or building owners? Get you thinking. Okay. I'll give you just a minute to go through or to select who's going to be the spokesperson. But while you're doing that, you do have a self-assessment quiz or questionnaire. So what I want you to do, I'm going to go through the answers. We'll go through it together. Put your name on the top and your email, and then hand those in to Sherilyn, and then I can get you your CPD certificate. So we'll run through that now, and then we'll go through the group questions and answers, okay? So you got to help me with this too. I got to make sure that you've been listening to me. So number 1, how does end-use analysis lead to water saving? So you would, any takers on that? Just generally? Bueller? Monitor the actual use? Yes. So by measuring and monitoring what is used and implementing strategies to improve it. Example, encouraging the use of urinals where applicable. And number 2, installing leak detection systems. So you could have 2 answers there. No, sorry, that's another answer to number 1. So number 2, question number 2, name a health benefit using smart systems for commercial buildings. Yes, better hygiene through improved cleaning schedules, and then also having things like user experience. Yeah, so touchless taps, touchless flush plates for toilets, and touchless urinals, improve the hygiene measures. Number 3, give 2 energy-saving benefits when using smart system for commercial buildings. So number 1 would be controlling water temperatures in showers to reduce your energy required. And number 2, using controlled leak management systems. Anybody have any others? Water usage measures, yes. Yes. So number 4, what is the highest WELS rating available for a shower? And how much and what is it for a toilet? 4 for shower, 6 for toilets. Yeah, but usually the 4-star toilets is what's used for commercial buildings. There's a 6-star, usually might not have enough of the pump systems for it. So number 5, how could you use the data collected by smart devices to design better bathroom spaces? Yes, future budget planning. You could also, knowing that the behavioural change, so you could have the urinals at the front of the bathrooms rather than hidden away, and to encourage the use of the urinals would have privacy panels between them. And then things like maybe innovative design that allow for even use of taps. So in a lot of case studies, we find that the toilets on either end are used more than the ones in the middle. So perhaps if that's extreme for a building manager and there's not that much of a usage, you kind of want to evenly stream out the maintenance schedule. So perhaps, you know, every whatever day, that the ones on the end are mark them as inactive, so you get people using the ones in the middle, something like that. Or maybe even circular centre vanity units, because there's no left or right, you know, both ends. Okay, so that is the self-assessment questionnaire. Just put your name on there and your email address, and Kurt will collect those. You're just standing there. And then I'll actually copy them and give you your copy, so you've got one for your internal audit if need be, and then I'll also send you the CPD certificate for it. So now we go on to the Q&A session. You kind of break out groups. I'll have one spokesperson for each question, and I'm going to nominate Isaac because he had some really good answers, some really good ideas. So number one, but feel free to, you know, add to it. What are the other benefits can you see intelligent fixtures offering bathroom users or building owners?
So one that we were talking about was there was a company in Japan that actually measures the pieces of the toilet. Thank you.
Thanks, Sherilyn.
And that is connected into the health system, and that tells you your everyday health. And if there is an issue, that you get a phone call. If you have one of these Toto toilets, you know, and it analyzes what's happening to your body every day. So that's interesting in a way, because if there's an issue and you don't know about it, you can, in a way, find it.
Wouldn't that be great in aged care, residential living, or even...
For cocaine users, imagine, yeah.
Cocaine, did you say? Oh. Measures that. Oh. It's true. Okay, next team, maybe over here. Did you have something interesting for question one?
No one. What are we talking about? One. Water usage, cleaning regime, make sure you're aware of the water usage. And out there one was use it for COVID testing and disease control, and digital temperature testing.
Yeah, well, cool. And this group over here, I could see you furiously writing down, so I didn't want to stop your thought processes there.
Our group was the smaller group, 3 people. So, but look, we approached this in a more generic fashion. We said we had 5 items here: monitoring use and cost, strategic and informed maintenance regimes, facility management, health benefit and positive behavioral use and habits created, and life cycle management in regards to maintenance and replacement.
Cool. And maybe question 2 now for the next team. How could you use the data collected by smart devices to design better bathroom spaces? Any sort of out-of-the-box ideas there? You're made for the microphone there.
What we did, well, for better planning, better planning of facilities, as you mentioned, a position of toilet blocks for commercial buildings, then behavior change in users, let's say I don't know, hand washing, for instance, and frequency of usage as well as peak demand management. That's what we had. Nothing extra special to what you already said. Unless the
But
demand.
has it got you starting to think about different ways of using this information and this data that you haven't had before, or you never had maybe thought to before, or maybe wasn't something that you thought was capable?
Well, in terms of shower usage, I am totally against it because I can't wash my hair.
Fair enough.
So that's, that should be looked at.
That's okay. And maybe you get the group up the back. Number 3, can you imagine any strategies that promote behavioural change for water conservation or improved hygiene with these technologies?
The improved, I don't know, I wasn't supposed to be the speaker, but the improved hygiene, we were thinking, referring back to you mentioning the females supposedly letting us down with the hand washing, that perhaps there's something that gives an indication, like a countdown.
Countdown, yep.
No, not penalty. What is it with you blokes? But something, I don't know. It could be as funny and...
maybe it's a tune, maybe it's a song.
That's right, like, or the speech, the misogyny speech by Julia Gillard.
You want them to hang around. Yeah.
But it gives an indication, even if it's a light or something, where you could see that you're nearly there, and just you would wait and keep washing, rather than it being unknown time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yes. Someone mentioned that. Who was that? Yeah, so when you got, a 2-minute timer for brushing your teeth, maybe a similar thing. Yeah, you did that. So any other information or discoveries?
Step back one. So everything has been concentrating on saving water, saving energy, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But if you step one back, just go back into the simple residential market, simplicity of design, attractiveness of your fittings, because you don't have the traditional tapware, etc., and you just have something quite elegant. So it's just a simple what it looks like.
Let that be the controlling feature of your water saving, the design itself.
Because the moment you move away, the sensor will pick up the temperature that you require. If it's too hot, you can monitor it, adapt it, change it to suit the household or the commercial building. Yes. And it could be also different seasons. In summer, you have cooler water, less light, so there'll be an overall savings for the whole building.
Cool.
And less cleaning.
Perfect.
really
Any
good
other
points.
comments? Anyone? Yes?
Control line loss energy by strategic location, heating units.
Yeah, I might just get you to repeat it so everyone can hear. Sorry.
I said you can control line loss energy by strategically locating heating units and the nature of units that you heat with.
So something like that. Very cool. All right, well, I think we'll wrap it up there. I thank you very much for your participation. And we'll collect, Kurt will collect your self-assessment sheets. And Kurt, if you don't mind copying them, and we'll just leave them here for you to collect again so you've got them for internal audits. And I will send out your CPD certificate. Thank you very much. And back to...
Thank you very much, Grace.
Sherilyn.